So today is all about demystifying the template library. It really is at the heart of the Vibe platform. And if you are time poor, you'll know that the templates help reduce the time and effort that it will take you or that you spend creating lively and visual content that engages your audience. The key, engaging your audience. Now, you may have heard us say from time to time that static content is dead content. And the reason we say that is because we've done a lot of work with the Vibe templates to help solve the issues with static imagery on screen. Number one, when you use the templates, your messages come to life with minimal effort, as many of you on this session will know. And in addition to that, number two, in addition to bringing your content to life, the templates are designed to drip feed your content, which is the key to keeping your audience engaged. So it takes those static images and brings them to life, but it also refreshes the messaging on screen as well. Both are key to the success of your workplace digital signage channel. And with the templates, you can preload messages using publishing rules and sorting features to automatically change out the messages that appear on screen. So you're not having the same content show and repeat. Digital signage like bus stops, you have time to see things on repeat your content because you've got a lot of different people coming through those sorts of areas. But in your workplace, you need to keep your content fresh, and having lively, engaging messages on screen will really help capture your audience's attention. So now that you have a good understanding of why the Vibe templates are the key to your success, I'm now going to hand you over to Karen Mills, our very own creative director, who's going to share with you insider design tips and tricks and showcase new template features that will help elevate your visual game. So thank you, Karen. I'll now hand over to you.
Awesome, Aruha, thank you. So as the design director at Vibe, I've designed the layouts to 95% of the templates that you have access to. I've planned the animation, written the vision for the development team, and outlined the functionality that it needs. So we've already spent many hours fine-tuning the subtle, eye-catching animated content so that you don't have to. But how do you gain the confidence to use Vibe in your workplace? My advice, just give it a go. So try changing the settings that you can see in the slides. Check the preview on an ongoing basis to make sure that your progress is that you're happy with your progress. And remember that unless you've assigned your slide to a live playlist, no one else can see what you're doing, so you'll be okay. And also, your screens and devices will take between 5 to 15 minutes to update, just depending on when the server and your screens are scheduled to update. So here's a bit of a hands-on scenario for today. I'm going to add a selection of work-life balance tips for the busy holiday season to our Vibe channel to help our staff well-being during this time. So here's the content that I'm looking at. And now I'm just going to whip over to our Vibe portal into the slide editor. So regardless of your design experience or how long you've been using Vibe, when you create a new slide, you do need to make a choice. You need to choose a template to suit your content. But which template? If I go create new slide, I'm presented with visuals and graphics and colors and preview images that may not look like what I want to put up. So where do I start? Easy. Let's have a look up here. We've got some category tabs that you can click into, say for announcements or messaging, data insights, events, and there's various other ones. You can also use the search box to come up with a term. They're not going to match Christmas or anything like that, but if you're looking for messaging or events, type it in there and it'll filter down. So I'm going to look back at my content and just refresh my memory. And I'm going to look at it. I'm going to consider that this is quite light-hearted. There's no real detail in this. I'm just looking at the headings. I think I've made a decision. I'm going to use the headings, perhaps some content and some real good imagery to reinforce those key heading messages. I'm not going to clutter it up with all this rest of the messaging clutter. So if I go back to my slides, I'm going to, because I've already planned this, I'm going to choose the image gallery module, the image gallery template, and just create a new slide on the fly here. And what you'll see is it's going to come up and it will be blank, and that's fine. There's no worries there. It is normal. And this is just where you need to give it a go and add your own content. Okay, so we can either drag content in here, which would be an image to get you started, or up here in the top, we've got an area for an image, a title, and a summary. So I know it's going to fit my content really well. Okay, so let's turn a static dead message from our content into an animated and lively message. I'm going to start with my first visual here, which is basically where I set off from as I started a new slide, but I've added in 2 items of content here, which was just the image, a title, and a summary. And you can see that we've already started an animation. So I've created a simple animated slide that's just going to scroll through my messages. It's going to pop up with these messages and the related images that I've done. It's an ideal template for this type of content. When I look at this area also, I'm just going to highlight that we've got the attributes tab, which is more of a set and forget. Once this is set, just forget about it unless you really want to make some changes about speed or animation. The next area that I'm going to highlight in this webinar is really into our design tab as well. And you'll see here that all of the theme is turned on. So this means I haven't actually done anything to this. It's used the theme that I've already set up in Vibe, and I can get a slide on screen within minutes. It's using a logo that I've used and some colors that I've pre-put into my theme. The last little tab along here is playlists. So this just shows me that I'm okay. I'm confident to go forward with my changes. It's not live. If I was to click one of these, then it's going to sync with this playlist and put it on all the lunchrooms. So if I head back to my examples, I'm now going to bring up this. So you can see here, this is the screenshots that I've got of my slides going on. This one uses my big images, but I'm going to just investigate what would happen if I created some icons that I was given. So this particular item, particular thing I'm going to highlight here is the item image coverage. So if I go into the design tab and I scroll down, I go straight to item image coverage. So the great thing about this template is we can choose some coverage options that relate to the images that we have. So for these icons, fit and contain is awesome. It's going to fit and contain within your screen size. So even if you've got portrait screens, and I'll just click on that just to show you, it's going to fit and contain it into this preview size here, which is the size of your portrait size screen. Fill and cover is great for maybe background imagery that doesn't have any detail in it. So what that's going to do is it's going to fill the space. It doesn't care what you've got in there. It's probably going to crop something off. So it's really good for just background imagery or things that don't have any message. So you'll be able to see here it's cropped off the top and the bottoms of my image. It's just forced it out to that size. And the last one I'm going to show, which is really cool, is the pan and scroll. So as the name suggests, it's going to pan or scroll across depending on the ratio of that original image. So it's great for just dropping in content where you don't need to edit it. You don't need to, you don't need an image editor to do that. Also good for infographics or things that you may not want to add this summary and title to. You could just pop them in here and they'll scroll up to show all the detail. I'm now going to jump into sort order and numbering as well. So the next feature that it is available in most templates, and it is a favorite of mine. So Vibe allows you to preload many messages, then use publishing rules of the sort items feature, and also so that Vibe can change out the messages so you won't end up having the same message on repeat. So you using a combination of sort order and limit the number of items here. So if I look at, my favorite probably is shuffle. So this is a random order. Now I've numbered my content here so that you can see easily that it's going to be randomized in this order here. And I'm going to pick, oh, it's already on 2. Your options are to have many. In this case, I want to pick 2. So my result will be picking 2 at random, 2 content items at random on screen at one time. So within that playlist, you'll get on screen, this slide will come up and it will play just 2 of them. The next time it comes up, it'll play randomly 2 others. So yeah, a great place to be able to preload loads and loads of content, and you will see lots of new items well into the future and save you time in the long run. The other little items, the other ones I've got up here are date and custom. So for custom, it's great if you do have a sequenced list of content where you want someone to start off at the title page and perhaps move through the items. You would then need to open that up and allow all of them. So you'd have to have the 10 items on there at the same time. And the other one in the sort item, which is really cool, is by date. So what that's going to do is, even though I've preloaded loads and loads of content, I still might want to add some new points and new tips. So the most frequently ones, the frequent ones you've added, so I last added number 6. If I add number 7 and 8, 7 and 8 will show first, and the older items will drop off your list and won't get shown. So that's a great way to keep content really, really refreshed on your site. So this is a new template. It's the first of a series of quiz-based slide templates to gamify your messaging. So it's perfect for testing and refreshing knowledge and introducing new initiatives. The quiz slide displays your questions and answers while a timer counts down. And then when the time is up, it will reveal the correct answer. So this one here, we've got working on a spreadsheet. Okay, so we've got different options here, and this one I'm using a spreadsheet. I'm just going to quickly show you how that works. So we've got some columns showing the question, and then the columns with the answers or the possible answers, and then the correct answer here. So number 6 is corresponding with the correct answer of choice 6. So this is quite easy. When you start one of our slides, there'll be a default template that you can download and start populating yourself. So it's quite a simple way of getting going if you've got if you like to work that way, I guess. The other option with this slide and with a lot of our other slides is that you can keep the content within the web portal, which is this option here. So these are web portal items not using the spreadsheet. So if I open one of these up, you'll still see the question here and the choices below. And for the answer, you just choose one of the choices that's correct. During yesterday's prep for this, I panicked a bit and I worried that I hadn't shown enough cool templates. So at this point, I'm just going to open up a quick fire 3 examples of animated content where I put the minimalist amount of effort in possible, just to show you what can be achieved. So here I've added a countdown for Christmas Day, just keeping along with our Christmas theme. This is called the countdown slide. All I needed to start the slide was a slide title, the date of Christmas. We've got 52 days to Christmas, good grief. And I've just popped in some of my tips that you see scroll along here at the bottom. So this is a great little slide. It's got some subtle animation to catch people's attention. The countdown is going to work as well. So I just jumped in there and put in an image, a title and a summary, and also a start date. So all of our event-based templates have start and end dates with them. So they've got something functional to order the dates on screen. So this one's highlighting my Christmas spending for our staff. Good grief, I've got a party budget and some Christmas presents. Easy to get on screen. I didn't think about it too much. Jumping in there, putting a title, some values, and having a go, seeing where things pop out. I've also got a little positive status here or a negative, which I'll just show you. I'm going to update that. So some of our templates, yes, you do need to have a go and just try and see what happens. Looking at your previews again and seeing what happens. Okay, so my current spend, I've just changed from a happy green face to a sad face. So now I'm going to jump into showing you how to push the templates more if you wish to. I've concentrated so far on the slides that I've popped up with minimal effort. Each template starts blank, but I've had a go and I've been able to add the necessary messaging and imagery to get my point across for our staff. I've let the template and the design theme do the work for me. But for a user to start building their confidence, the design tab is where you'll find some extras to play with, which is why I've started this extra one here. And I'm just going to show you how to use the graphic option. And the reason why I'm doing this is that we're rolling this type of graphic option out to a lot of our other templates as well, just so that you can have some more design and styling flair if you need to and if you have time to. I'm just going to drag and drop a few examples in here to show you what I mean, and we'll see what happens with the text and the images, the image that it's sitting on. So the key thing is that to be aware of is that the text here that you see will fit into the space of the size of the image. And what I mean by that is, I'm just going to drag this one in. So this is a different ratio. It's squarer. And if we wait for the preview to revolve up, we'll see that it's taken up a nice amount of space. I'm going to change this to shuffle so that we're not seeing the same messaging all the time. I'm going to also show you this one as well. So this one's like a watermark. It's got some transparency in it. And it's just going to sit behind the text over the top of the image just to give a different dimension. Okay, so it just gives a little bit. So that would be really good for some clients' brands where their design team might be able to design them some sort of little transparent watermark there. I'm going to show you a different example. So as I change this, you'll note that it's always in the same spot. I think I might want to change this up. So we've got some other alignment ideas, alignment fields here. We've got position. It's always sitting at the bottom left. I'm just going to move that to the top center because it's nice and bold and red. I'm going to animate it just from the top, and I'm going to keep my text alignment the same. So let's see what happens. So now we just bring that red lozenge down at the top here. So we've got a few alignments with this, which is quite nice. That's what we're trying to work into with our slides, is that whilst we've got a lot of content to allow for when the dev team are doing these slides, we can also work in some alignment techniques, which is what we're working towards. So the last few that I'm just going to show are based on some of our clients as well. So this is some of their branding. I'm just going to show you how that they could use this. So no, I don't like that up there, but just with a few changes, I might want it coming in from the bottom right and animating up from the bottom. I'm going to text align middle left. I'm going to keep my margins wide and just see what the effect is in my preview. So transparent PNGs work really well, just to give you some little bit of design definition, and also the size. Just one last one. I'm going to show you what I mean. So what I'm trying to do is give you some different examples. This is a nice wide one. And when I look at this, yeah, it kind of fits. It's okay. I'm going to make the the theme color dark so that I can see over it. So the graphic layout option is being rolled out to other slides, and our dev team are just signing off the last quality control checks to five new social media slides, which I'll give you just a bit of a quick run through here. So this is our dev team and our QC. We test it all, we put in different colors, we see what's happening. So yes, a first off the rack. They're not quite ready yet, but we're getting there. The great thing about these social media slides is that you'll be able to also use them with the portal elements. So they're not just going to be relied on the social media social media feeds. You'll be able to use the same designs with web portal items and do them manually, which was great. Adds in a whole new dimension to these slides. So jumping in and trying out the fields in the design tab comes down to your confidence in using Vibe software, choosing a suitable template to match your content, being at ease with its drag and drop functionality for adding images and duplicating items when you can, and also progressing into spreadsheets and automated content streams such as Google Sheets and SharePoint. But for Vibe users who are still mastering their confidence, we've got some great planned development enhancements in the pipeline, so you can be more confident choosing and using slides. So we've got animated preview images to see better representation of the full templates. We're going to introduce inbuilt help tips, and we're also going to have accurate text length suggestions, which we've been trying to do for a little while, but I think that's nearly on the cards, and also smart template changing options so that you can choose a new template and not lose any data when you reposition old content. So that's all from me today. I hope the examples I've highlighted have demystified the template library for you, and you now have the confidence to just jump into those template settings and give it a try.
Thank you so much, Karen. We so appreciate your time as creative director here at Vibe. We know that your time is very precious, especially at this time of year. So we really appreciate you taking the time to put together and present a lot of those template features to us today. I love seeing the way that you elevate the visual game of slides. I'm definitely more on the side of minimal effort, so those early examples, but everyone here today, including myself, will be able to get our hands on those assets that you saw Karen adding into the slide. So we're going to zip those all up for you and pop them into the Help Centre, and also fire out this webinar recording so that you can refer back and really use today's tips to elevate your end of year comms and your New Year's comms. Take full advantage of the assets that we're going to provide to you today. And we're also going to reach out to you via our monthly newsletter with our 2023 webinar series. So we'll try and encourage Karen to come back. So definitely stay for Q&A, and that might encourage her to be part of our series in 2023. And we'll also keep you posted on a lot of those template features that Karen mentioned to you at the end of her presentation. From our marketing team, they have just asked if you do notice any of our Vibe emails going into your junk folder, please do flag Vibe as a safe sender so you don't miss out on any of the comms that we send. It's really right now is the key area that you're going to get updates and find out if there's any freebies available to you, care of Karen and the creative team.